At the beginning of the film, we are shown a man who is captured by a monster. He has a chain around his neck and he was finding something in the mud. Seeing him, it was clear that whatever he was looking for could save his life. Later, the next moment, a loud voice comes. As soon as the man listens to the sound, he dies in agony. Later, the monster takes him with him after pulling him. Later, we're shown a girl, Kathy, who lived in a small town and was an officer. She approaches a man in jail and stops him from wrongdoings, which he was doing along with the other boy. Kathy stops him from doing this, but the boy either attacks her. From the boy, Kathy was forbidding him not to do evil deeds after joining him again. Meanwhile, the boy Kathy was forbidding. Then Kathy's husband also comes. He was an officer like Kathy. He takes the man with him. Later, we're informed about Kathy's life and she lives separately from her husband. Kathy had a small son who often lives with her, but she used to be busy because of her job. That's why she sends him with her husband. Kathy's husband lives with his second wife who was pregnant. She was nice and considers Kathy's son as her own child. Now, Kathy goes to her office and her head was bandaging her because she has an injury because of the boy's attack. Meanwhile, an officer girl comes and tells them that a girl named Mary has been released after 20 years. She used to be known as the Bloody Mary in the town. Kathy was responsible for all the investigation tasks about her. Kathy's boss says, "No, Kathy can't do this." Kathy takes the file from her and says, "Give me this file. I'll surely do this job." And Kathy's boss tells her about her story. Her husband was about to burn her into the fire. That's when she killed her husband with the brick. That's why she was sentenced to imprison for 20 years. It means Kathy's boss wanted to say that Mary isn't a bad woman. The head tells her that she had a friend whom she liked. According to the people, he used to roam after wearing strange dresses. About him, nobody knows, and all the townsmen consider her a witch. She has a lot of terror in the town. After hearing the whole story, Kathy goes to Mary's house. On the way, she meets with two children who were finding for a witch. Kathy asks, "What are you doing here, children? Go to your houses. You know this isn't a safe area." After saying this, Kathy leaves. We see the monster had kept an eye on the children. Kathy comes to Mary's house and ties something to her feet after coming and says, "You can't go anywhere now. I've been sent here for your investigation." Mary tells her when she was sentenced to jail, she was pregnant. Then when her child was born, he was given to another family. Kathy goes after talking to Mary. She takes her son from her husband's son and spends time with him. On the other side, the children Kathy saw. Now it turned to be night. The children were still roaming in the jungle. They reached Mary's house. Meanwhile, someone was keeping an eye on them and holds them. Here Kathy researches for Mary's case at her house. She learns that Mary first used to worship the devil. Along with this, she learns about the children's sacrifice and about a strange man. He was found in the mosque that was near Mary's house. These things were also mentioned in her case. This was about the same strange man, the monster we saw at the beginning of the story. Meanwhile, Kathy's son comes to her whose health was unstable. Kathy goes to her son after leaving all. Kathy's husband has a call and he is informed about the missing of the same two children who were seen by Kathy. And Kathy's husband goes to Mary's house to know about those children. He was suspicious of Mary because of the rumors spread about her in the town. He searches for her house and he finds strange things. After seeing them, it appears that black magic is practiced there. Kathy's husband doesn't understand anything nor he knows about those things. Neither he gets any evidence about Mary, so he goes from there. In the morning, the whole team including Mary search for two children. Mary's boss tells her that the stories about Bloody Mary aren't baseless. Kathy says, "No, nothing is like this," because she thinks that Mary has been improved. While searching for the children, Kathy sees maps on her mobile phone that Mary is quite away from her house, as she has stopped her that she'll not go away from her house. That's why Kathy follows her and finally comes to her. She tells her, "Mary, I've forbidden you that you can't go out of your house." She says, "This is my dad's house and I came here to spend a little time." Now, Kathy goes to drop her at her house. On the way, she asks many questions about her life, like marriage and the children, but Kathy doesn't pay much attention to her and goes. And on the other side, the team doesn't find the children in the jungle, but they find a dead body of a man. That is the dead body of the man that was seen with the strange monster at the start of the film. There, Kathy's husband finds a few wooden items, quite similar like he saw at Mary's house. Kathy still can't believe that this all could be done by Mary. At night, Mary goes to her child. Actually, whatever she told Mary was a lie, that her child was taken away from her. Mary's child was with her. Her son has captured the two children whom Kathy saw in the jungle. Actually, Mary was about to have magic on the children, which everyone knows about her, that she is a witch and performs black magic. Kathy has also researched about her. Mary kills the children. The next day, the team finds the dead bodies of the children. They were laid in a shape, and the wooden items were also placed near them. They all become quite worried after the death of the children. When Kathy's head goes to the children's house, their parents become quite angry at him. and they accuse Mary for everything. They say everything has been destroyed since she came to our town, and she is responsible for the death of our children. Along with the parents of the children, all the townsmen go to kill Mary, because everyone has to save their families. Now, they think that whatever has happened today with these children could happen to their children tomorrow. Kathy calls her husband, and everyone was outside Mary's house. They send them back after making them understand. Kathy's husband tells her that he has a doubt about Mary. She has killed them, but Kathy says, no, she has now changed. After this all, Kathy's husband goes. Later, Kathy goes to Mary to see her. When Kathy goes to her, she says, why don't you go from here? Stop chasing me and go from there. Meanwhile, Kathy sees a bucket filled with blood, and we see the same strange man behind Kathy. She is seen unconscious. Mary ties her up and kept her. Her son was included in this all. Till now, what Kathy thought about Mary that she had changed is a lie. Mary was exactly what people knew about her. Mary tells Kathy, yes, I killed the children. I can also tell how. Mary used to perform witchcraft and black magic. After putting chains around Kathy's neck, Mary takes her to the same place where the swamp was, which we saw at the beginning of the film. Her son was also there with her. Mary tells her, you have to find a mandrake here. Take care that he won't wake up. If he wakes up and he makes noise, you'll die with his sound. Now, Kathy has no choice, so she starts to find mandrake from the ground. Actually, mandrake is a root that is used in witchcraft and black magic. This root is similar to the deer's face. It really exists in a muddy and swampy area. It is used for immortality in black magic and to fix anything. When she finds mandrake, she brought Kathy to her house and makes her ready after giving her a bath. Later, they perform black magic with mandrake. Mary makes juice with it that she takes first and then makes her son drink. Later, she gives the juice to Kathy forcibly. Her son asks, why do you make Kathy drink this juice? Mary probably wants to capture her for her son. Or Mary and her son wanted to be immortal. They want to live forever. Kathy has a dream in which she sees herself as Mandrake's mom. Along with this, she sees the strange-shaped monster. Kathy becomes afraid to see this, and she wakes up from sleep. She sees her feet injury was also recovered. It means there were some magical powers in that juice. Kathy was roaming in the whole house, and she didn't see Mary and her son anywhere. Kathy finds her phone and immediately calls. She actually calls the man whom we saw at the start of the film. Kathy was stopping him from wrongdoings. Meanwhile, Mary and her son come. They capture Kathy, and in the meantime, the jar of juice falls. Mary's son cries a lot. Mary calms him down and locks Kathy in a room. On the other hand, the boy goes to Kathy's husband and tells that he received Kathy's call. I think she is in danger, but he doesn't believe in any of his words and goes to the house of that man, whom we saw at the start of the film. When Kathy's husband goes into the house, he finds many witchcraft items, mandrake, and evidence against Mary's son. He understands that Mary is behind this all. He tells his head about this all and goes toward Mary's house. It means the man we saw at the start of the film who had a chain around his neck. Like Kathy, he was also finding mandrake. He might have not found it on time, and he died because of its sound. There, Kathy somehow frees herself. Kathy's son, who was with Kathy's husband's second wife, disappears suddenly, who was captured by the strange man, because it was necessary to kill a child before the black magic of mandrake. We come to know that Mary, first of all, kills the child and sacrifices them. Then, she used to bring any of the men like the man from the film's beginning. Then Kathy, who brings mandrake from the swamp for her. For this reason, she was called the Bloody Mary. The juice she made, she used the blood of the dead children and the mandrake. After this all, Kathy's husband comes to Mary's house. He asks about Mary. Suddenly, his head kills him after coming from behind. Later, Mary and he both killed Kathy's husband together. We learn that Kathy and her husband's boss are involved together. This head has narrated the wrong stories about Mary to Kathy. Probably, the boy about he told that he likes Mary is he, himself. Kathy has learned everything, but she can't do anything right now. She runs towards the jungle and sees a strange monster there, who is taking her son with him. She attacks him from behind and she beats that monster a lot. He falls down and we come to know that he isn't any monster but Mary's son who has worn the monster's dress. The monster we saw at the start of the film wasn't a monster but Mary's son. After beating him, Kathy saves her son. On the other hand, Kathy's husband's boss was with Mary. He was the same boy 20 years ago. For Mary killed her husband. She kills the head and says, now you've been weaker and useless for me. 20 years ago, this head used to kidnap children by wearing the monster's suit. All the townsmen learned that Mary and her son are behind everything. They found Mary's son in injured condition. They hang him and kill him. Then they go to find Mary. And after going there, they see the dead body of Mary. They learn that Mary has fled, and Kathy has saved her son. On the other side, it is shown that Kathy is with her son in the house. She sees the mandrake there and becomes quite worried after seeing it. Later, someone starts to knock at the door, and when she opens the door, He was the same boy whom Kathy stopped from wrongdoings. He came here in her worry and probably begins to like her. At the end of the film, it is shown that Kathy meets her husband's second wife, who has a son, and on the other side, Mary, who has gone too far now. No one knows where she has gone. After Mary's departure in the town, the children's missing, their murder, everything was resolved. Kathy was with her husband's son. And Mary, who has gone too far, was having a big black magic. And Kathy also feels this because of that mandrake juice. Kathy too has some powers inside her, that she was able to sense her powers. Now, will Kathy do the big black magic that Kathy has to face? The film ends with this.